he was saying that the only way to fix the mass amounts of carbon emissions is mass extinction, and we need to go back to small hunter-gatherer societies. And it's like, that is such a terrible idea. And he's saying that there's no way to win the war on drugs, and you need to give drug addicts more drugs to solve the problem. And it's like, how? Yeah, I don't know. You need to question what any professor says to you, just because a lot of it is based on an agenda, and it has nothing to do with I literally didn't learn anything sociology based. It was mostly just like liberal propaganda, but
yeah,
it's just college these days. Anyway, I don't know why we started talking about
I don't know. I was just
the
like
State of the Union.
I literally was just
What are
like,
you running for president, by the way?
Dude, I literally, when you were just talking about this, though, I was just like thinking, like what is going on with society today? And I was just thinking about how there's been such a skepticism and like all of this, like there's like this new order that is like saying, it's almost like Star Wars in a way. Like everybody is like relying on the world and like the public, not necessarily the government, but the world and the public to like give them purpose and identity, right? And so like you have all these people like struggling because they can't personally self-identify because they don't really know themselves, and they're confused because they don't necessarily fit in, and so the world has to create a place for them. Or
yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people get that their sense of identity from social media nowadays.
yeah.
With all these new like hashtag movements, that there's like a new one every week, and people they want to belong to something, so they'll try so hard to fit into that, and they'll make up stories. They'll just make up like things that aren't based on facts at all. It literally wouldn't even happen, and no one's gonna question it because it's just text on a screen. They can just make up stuff, post it on Twitter with that hashtag, and feel that like they're a part of something bigger than themselves. And really, it's nothing. It's all vanity.
But also, like, if you don't fit into, like, on that same line, if you don't fit into anything, like, nowadays you can just create your own group. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, you can literally just start something new.
And not that that's necessarily
it's not a bad
wrong.
thing. Yeah, no.
But in some senses, it can be. Like, it can
if
if
it's based on just complete and utter crap, then that's where I draw the line.
Yeah.
Anyway,
like flat Earth is.
Yeah, I mean, and don't get me wrong. Like you can, if you want to think that the Earth is flat, like First Amendment. Guess what? We live in a country, the only country where we have a First Amendment right, and there's people that want to take that away. But as long as it's here, you can think whatever you want. You can say whatever you want on Twitter. So go ahead, feel free.
Yeah,
feel free.
Dude, there's one thing that I feel like we have to discuss.
Okay.
And it's the spiritual realm.
You want to get a little spiritual? Yeah. Absolutely.
No, dude, we got to talk about that one time with Lucy.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I wanted you to tell the story when I said when I asked you like the scariest thing that happened to you.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I'll tell from my perspective. Okay. So here's the thing. You have to understand like the layout of our house. So there's like as soon as you walk in the front door, there's like a foyer, and the stairs are immediately to your left, and right above you, right when you walk in the front door, is the upstairs, and you can look right at my room, and then my brother's room's right on the right of that. So our bedroom doors are right next to each other, and when you open them, you can look at the stairs and the front door and the foyer. All that's in your line of sight. So it's probably like 3 a.m. On a Saturday, and me and Nathaniel get woken up at the same time. And Lucy, our dog, is very docile and lazy and literally does nothing. And she just barks at random stuff, but never like in the middle of the night.
And never aggressively.
Yeah, well, I didn't know that she was like growling or anything, but anyway, it's like 3 a.m. She's barking her head off and really loud, and she has an annoying bark when she is barking. And so it wakes me up, and because our bedrooms are right next to each other, and the walls are paper thin, so I can hear you like get out of your bed and walk to see what's going on. So I walk to see what's going on. We both open our doors at the same time. And I like kind of look at Lucy, and she's looking somewhere, and then I look at you, and you're kind of freaked out. I don't know what you saw, and then you kind of just like looked at me and were like, "Yeah, just go back to sleep," you know.
Yeah.
And so I was like, "Whatever." I went back to sleep, and I didn't know what happened until the next morning. But that's where.
Yeah. So, basically, what happened was, like you said, my dog was barking a lot, Lucy. But she also was gnarling her teeth. And, like, I gotta tell you, this is, like, the sweetest dog you will ever meet. And so she was gnarling her teeth and, like, looking at the door and just, like, going nuts. And I just was like, what's going on? And I could kind of hear, like, pitter-patter, like, that's a weird phrase. But, like, footsteps, like, on the ground or, like, I couldn't tell that it was footsteps, but it just sounded like something out there. And I was like, what the heck is that? So it kind of freaked me out. And Alex heard some of it, I guess. I don't know.
I just heard Lucy barking, and I heard you get up.
So, like, yeah, we both got up, and we both came to the doors at the same time. And he didn't look at the stairs, but I did. And he was, like, just kind of looking at my expression. And I was just like...
Yeah, it was exactly like that.
Like I was just like so shocked, like what the heck that was that I just saw.
It wasn't like a face of like scared or anxious. It was just kind of like confused.
Yeah, so. Part of me, and the reason was like, part of me just like felt like I was like in a sense of half asleep or something, like,
yeah,
or I was, I don't know. It was just like. I couldn't process it right away, but I just looked right at Alex, and I was like, just go to bed.
Well, what did you see? What did you see on the stairwell?
So, like, on the stairwell, like, I saw, like, these, like, black figures, and it wasn't, like, they didn't look like a cloud or, like, spirits, or, they literally looked like, what did I say they looked like? The Nazgul.
Oh, yeah.
From, like, Lord of the Rings. Like, those weird, like, hooded dudes that, like, stab Frodo or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, started to nerd out on you guys. But anyways, like, they literally looked like that. And there was, like, a few of them just running up the stairs, like, really fast. And, like, you could literally hear the steps.
Yeah.
And, like, the weird thing was, like, it felt like they were, like, coming from me, in a way.
Yeah.
Like, it was creepy. Like, my dog, like, Lucy was my dog. Like, she only has ever really done stuff like that, like, out of protectiveness. She notices them before any of us do. I'm asleep. So she feels the need to make me aware. I go out there just in time to see whatever this is.
Yeah.
And it was just creepy. And so I go to bed, and I go to my room, and there's actually a deeper part of this that I never really told you about.
Okay.
But I go to my room, and I just, like, start, like, kind of, like, praying about it and, like, wondering what was going on.
Absolutely.
But, but anyways, later on that night, like, I woke up again, and, like, just saw one of them at the foot of my bed.
Really?
It was just, like, staring at me.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the heck that was. And I don't know. And it's possible that maybe I thought I was, like, dreaming. Or I was, like, maybe I thought that I was awake, but maybe I was dreaming that I was awake. Like, you know, like, kind of like you do, like, when you really have to pee, so you dream that you went to the restroom and you peed.
Uh-huh. You wet the bed?
Well, no, but, like, sometimes I used to. But no, but, like, have you ever done that? Like, you really have to pee, but you don't feel like getting up, so Somehow your mind
Yeah.
like makes you think that you went to go pee,
Yeah.
and it like gives you relief for a little bit.
Yep.
But anyways, weird tangent.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was like this. That was not the scariest moment of my life, though. It really wasn't scary. It was just like creepy.
Yeah. So the scariest, and I never like have seen like figures, but of course, Dad always makes my first that joke about the story, but I was like 6 or 7, and I was laying on my back in my bed, just staring at the ceiling, and I couldn't sleep at all. And I'd just been staring at the ceiling for hours. And it was in the summer, so it was hot in Texas, and I had one like single sheet, no comforter, no blanket, just a single sheet over me. And
Don't tell this story.
And I looked down at my like abdomen. It wasn't any lower than that, so it was my abdomen. And my sheets were raised. It was like a pyramid. It was a dome. And then I looked above that. There's a blue orb just floating. And it was separated from the sheet, but it was right above the blanket. And I like kind of freaked out. I wasn't scared of it, but I was just kind of like, what the heck? Closed my eyes, opened them again, and it was gone. The sheets were back to normal. Can't explain it, but that's what I saw. And I've talked to Alex about this, but when I was also growing up, like, I guess I was just like targeted as a kid for whatever reason. You talk about like spiritually, but like I and it was in like it was with my dreams. Like I had 3 reoccurring nightmares. One of them was me and my dad were at a food court, and I went in this huge like play place like they have at McDonald's. And I was up in those, like those half bubbles? I don't know. You know those, like, half bubbles, or it's, like, clear plastic that you can see out of in the play places? I was in that, and it looked over the food court. But for some reason, everyone disappeared. I don't know where my dad went. Like, none of the kids were in there. And in the entry of the food court was this, like, white figure. And I didn't feel like it was a nice presence. I felt very scared and very helpless and trapped.
This is the one you couldn't remember.
No, that was the one yesterday.
Oh.
And then there was one where I was sitting in my room, dark, and I couldn't move. I couldn't speak anything. And this like cartoon dog was standing in the doorway, and it like was just smiling at me for a while, completely still, like a doll. And then like out of nowhere, it sprints at me. Like we're not talking like sprint, we're talking like Tyreek Hill sprints right at me and tickles me to death. And I can't move or anything. He's just like laughing, tickling me. There's no way. And I wasn't watching TV. We really didn't have cable TV until I was way older. So, at least I didn't watch cable TV. So there's no way this stuff, like, I got this from, like, television or because I didn't watch scary TV or anything scary until then. That was just the way of the enemy trying to, like, mess with my head.
What if there's, like, literally an actual clown coming into your house and tickling you and you thought it was a dream?
No, it was a dog. It was like it was like a Mickey Mouse, but like a dog. I don't get it. I don't know. And the other one, I can't remember the other one, but it was pretty scary too. I just can't remember. But yeah, no. Dreams are scary. I don't really get scared of dreams anymore. Like I can watch a horror movie and go right to bed and I'm fine. I guess I'm at a certain point where they don't scare me anymore, but
we have literally talked about the randomest stuff ever.
It's absolutely.
So let's just morning.
Nothing more. Nothing, it's always random. Speaking of scary stuff, I had this birthday party one year, and we stayed up all night. There was like 8 of us guys at this is at the old house, but we stayed up all night, man. My dad, I don't know what my dad was doing. He was just sleeping. I don't know how he slept because we were kind of screaming. But my house was a little older, and it had an upstairs that I really didn't like spending much time in because it